The full moon rises on part 2 of my discussion on Sega's famous mascot and his foray into the supernatural. Last month we talked about Night of the Werehog, so you might want to check that out if you haven't watched it yet. But for those in the know, let's get to the heart of the matter. It's time to discuss all things Sonic Unleashed. As my opening statement and disclosure to you all, I wish to make one thing clear. I love Sonic Unleashed. With a gorgeous soundtrack, the gameplay building blocks of modern Sonic games to come, and a devotional attention to detail wherever you look, Sonic's 2008 World Adventure may have had mixed reviews, but it will always hold a place in my heart, and my merch collection. Hurry, get to the game's premise before everyone realizes I just wanted to show off my merch! There are two main stage types, day stages and night stages, and the difference between them is, well, night and day, in a lot of ways. The day stages are the fast-paced, boost-to-win scenarios with branching paths and quick decisions, while nighttime stages are slower with wave after wave of Dark Gaia spawn to beat to a shadowy pulp. What's that I hear? You don't know what Dark Gaia is? Well then let me dive into the game's story briefly. We start the game watching Sonic face off with Eggman, or Robotnik, pick your poison. But when things look dire, BAM! Super Sonic, get wrecked, Egg Sandwich Man! It turns out it was all a trap, and for the first time, Eggman not only defeats Super Sonic, but essentially wins. He unleashes an ancient being of darkness from the center of the planet, the aforementioned Dark Gaia, and splits apart the world, while at the same time giving Sonic an extreme makeover Lon Chaney edition, turning him into a werewolf. Or is he? Back when Unleashed came out, and even to this day, there were complaints about Sega calling Sonic's nighttime form the Werehog, saying that the etymology is off, and that they're essentially calling an anthropomorphic hedgehog a man-pig, and should instead call him a wolf hog or hedgewolf, since he's a werewolf creature. And for a time, I was right there in that camp. Until you begin to understand what Dark Gaia is. In the game, it's made clear that Dark Gaia is fueled by the negative emotions of the world, and the fragments of Dark Gaia that Sonic fights the whole time are manifestations of the darker side of humanity. You even have to basically exorcise the Dark Gaia minions from people because it's affecting their personalities at night. Dark Gaia is not a werewolf curse, it's negativity made manifest, which is why Sonic is in fact not a werewolf, but he does have a werewolf-like transformation. So using the prefix were to describe Sonic's night form makes logical sense so as not to misinterpret him as a wolf-hedgehog hybrid. But this does bring up an interesting question. Are there different types of were creatures out there in the world? The answer is, oh boy, do I have some folklore for you. The term therianthropy refers to any human that morphs into an animal or animal hybrid, and cultures from all over the world have their own take on this concept. The earliest known instance of the concept of animal shapeshifting comes from 10,000-year-old cave drawings from France, which shows a human figure with the features of multiple animals, possibly a deity or spirit of some sort. From this primordial idea of human-animal fusion comes a plethora of mythological creatures, from the Selkies of Celtic lore, to the were-hyenas of North Africa, and the trickster kitsunes of Japan, to name just a tiny fraction of the world's folklore on shape-shifting beings. To name them all would be impossible, for with as many creatures as there are humans with imaginations, the possibilities are truly never-ending. There's so much more I could talk about with Unleashed, but this will have to do for now. Next month, we'll slow down with the smaller game. But until then, happy gaming, and I'll see you when the next moon rises.
This is how I'm gonna start the damn verse by saying curse Eggman for this damn curse. If I had one more second, I know I would've dodged Eggman's weapon. The good news, I didn't get set on fire. The bad news, I carried the Dark Gaia. Went from dashing at the speed of light to a hairy furball that goes bump in the night. When the moon comes out, Eggman's robots and the goons come out. They try to intimidate the werewolf.